Hey guys, what's going on? It is Matt from Susquehanna Automotive, and today we're doing something a little bit different. A few days ago, we actually released our first Ford Maverick walk around and kind of review video. Now, unfortunately, fortunately, that was a sold order, so we got a chance to check it out, but we really couldn't drive it too much because it was sold and it was going to a customer. Now, this one that I'm driving today is actually an exact same, basically clone of the first one that we tested. And what I wanted to do today is I want to take this thing out and use it to the audience that Ford has specifically tried to appeal to, and that is going to be those that live in the city. Now today we're in Lancaster City. We've got our brand new 2022 Ford Maverick. We're going to pop it around the city, do some city things. I think you guys can kind of fill in the blanks on what we're going to try and do here today. And we're just going to see how this thing handles. Now, if any of you guys are safety Sallies out there, I will tell you that I do have my seatbelt on. It's just behind my back. It's going to interfere with the mic and it'll get all scratchy and you won't be able to hear me. We're going to jump right into this one. Let's get it started. The first thing that I'm probably going to get asked for someone that lives in the city is how does it handle while driving through the city? This one does have the 2.0 liter EcoBoost, so it's going to be a 4-cylinder EcoBoost. It makes very impressive horsepower and torque numbers, but we're stopped here at a red light. You can see people are hustling, bustling. We're right in downtown Lancaster. If I mentioned it in the previous video, it's got an almost Ford Escape or the Bronco Sport style steering wheel, so it's a little bit smaller, but very nimble in my hands. I've already had to kind of weave around a few people just driving through. There was an Amazon truck back there, and it handles like a car should. It's not very much wider. It's probably about the same width as a Ford Escape or a smaller SUV. So just by having that, you're not too worried about having this really wide, awkward truck to kind of spin around in. So let's just go through this little roundabout here. But it handles very nicely. And I gotta say that Lancaster is always one of those cities that is doing construction. There's construction trucks, there's roadwork signs all over the place here. So having a really wide pickup truck gets you kind of nervous. Sometimes I'm tucking in the mirrors on my full-size truck just to make it through the city, and that's because I don't want to get too wide and end up sideswiping or hitting somebody. But with this, the narrowness or the, just the overall stance makes it very easy to weave through. The ride is also, guys, incredibly smooth. It drives like a car and honestly drives like a larger sedan, so very, very smooth ride, and the transmission just works. Now, for you folks that are living in the city, especially areas where you don't get too much snow and you will never really utilize that all-wheel drive, the 2.5 liter mild hybrid engine is going to get actually better city fuel economy than it is highway. Now, the EPA hasn't put out their official rankings, but I believe it's right around 40 miles per gallon in the city. And that's going to be due to that very mild hybrid, which has regenerative braking, and it's going to give you power back into that electric hybrid system. I will say with the 2.0 liter EcoBoost and the all-wheel drive, even going through the city, cruising here at about 55 miles an hour on some back country roads, I'm still averaging 38.6 miles per gallon at about 10 miles driven. So very, very good here. This vehicle likes to stay in the lower RPM bands with that 8-speed transmission, so really, really clean. But one of the coolest things that I've just noticed, and I actually learned this on the internet, I was kind of going through all the Ford Maverick specs, is that this actually has an auto brake hold. Now what that is a small button down below. If you activate it, you turn it on. When you pull up to a stop sign, a red light, or you're even just stopped in rush hour traffic, and you hold your foot on the brake, you can release your foot off the brake and it will hold the brake on for you. Now what that means is I'm pulling up to a red light here. I'm going to put both my hands on the wheel, depress on the brake pedal, and there's a little hand that pops up with a circle around it, and now I have both my feet off of any of the pedals here, and it's going to hold me until I slightly depress onto that gas pedal. Now this also works with the auto stop start, so right now the vehicle is shut off. I'm sitting at a light and it's saving me fuel. Now what that does is really make it a lot easier in rush hour situations, stop and go traffic, and you don't want to have your foot jammed on that brake pedal. Now I'm ready to go. I'll touch the gas pedal, fires up that auto stop start, releases the brake, and now I'm ready to roll. Definitely a very cool feature of this, and Ford's incorporating this into a lot of their new vehicles. I've not seen it in any other manufacturer, but in the Maverick as a city vehicle, it's definitely something great to have. So next up, guys, is something that I gotta be honest with you, I live in a kind of quiet development. I don't have to do this too often unless I'm in the city, and that's the dreaded parallel parking. I had to do it when I was 16 and got my driver's license in Pennsylvania, but as we're driving around Lancaster, I'm starting to think to myself that a lot of people that live in the city, you guys are probably pros at this. And I gotta be honest, you don't want a huge truck to try and parallel park and not be able to get into any spots right in front of your apartment, right in front of your house. So what we're gonna do, driving around here, we're gonna find a nice spot. Might be a little bit tighter, but something that we can actually parallel park in. All right, let's do it. still got it. So we've got the truck park. Now, we got it parked in between a full-size Suburban and almost like a mid-size, that's I believe a Subaru Forester there, maybe an Outback, I'm not a Subaru expert. But we've got about 3.5 foot, I'd say, in between, you know, both the front and the back of the truck. And I will tell you this, if I was in my full-size Ram 1500, I would not have been able to fit there. It was relatively easy too. And you can see we're not perfectly tucked against the curb there, but we are very close. And the narrowness and kind of just the overall size and stature of this truck made it really simple. So that was my biggest test here. I do not parallel park too often. And I can imagine someone that does could probably get it even a tighter spot than I'm used to. So a city person, someone that lives in the city, you guys prove me wrong and show me the tightest spot you can get this thing into. But that's pretty good for me, I'll take it. So if you're a city person watching this and you're thinking that you want to get your next new vehicle, maybe the trade-in value on yours is crazy high because at the time of filming this, I'll be honest, trade-in values are great. And this truck is very reasonably priced. At just under 20 grand starting off, you can get this one pretty well equipped for about $25,000. So something really cool, and you haven't been able to do that in a while. And if I didn't mention before, you can also haul 1,500 pounds to bed, so great for a city person and actually a usable truck. I will tell you that even if you didn't watch my first review, this thing is impressive. I thoroughly enjoyed it in the city too, just by how narrow it is. I mentioned that a couple times, but it drives, parks, and rides like a sedan or a small SUV. There's no large truck, you have a stiffer suspension. This thing is very smooth, especially with that 8-speed transmission. Drop a comment below on what you want to see next. Personally, in my opinion, if you guys would like to see it, I'd love to show you the bed capacity of this truck. I'd like to go pick up some furniture, maybe go to Home Depot, pick up a bunch of things, and just show how much we can fit. So whatever you think should fit in the bed of this, make a list down below, and we'll try and do it. But overall though, guys, if you haven't seen one of these Ford Mavericks in person, you definitely need to. And I'm not just bragging, I'm not just saying that because I work at a dealership here. I'm a full-size truck guy. I love my trucks, I love my Jeeps, but I really, really like this Maverick, and I think it serves a great purpose. Now, if you guys do want to talk a little bit more about this, I'll drop my number below. You can give me a call, shoot me a text. We'd love to get you into one of these vehicles. You can factory order it no matter where you're from. We'll work out the shipping and the delivery details with you. And until next time, I'm Matt from Susquehanna Automotive. I'll catch you on the next one.